non-discrimination, and program integrity. In accordance with federal civil rights laws and U.S. Department of Agriculture civil rights regulations and policies, all institutions that participate in or administer USDA programs are prohibited from discriminating based on race, color, national origin, sex, religious creed, disability, age, political beliefs, or reprisal or retaliation for prior civil rights activity in any program or activity conducted or funded by the USDA. In short, what this means is, as a participant on the USDA's Child and Adult Care Food Program, you are absolutely prohibited from discriminating.
Hey everyone, I'm Mike Maruzar's. Rhiannon Alley is off tonight. A child daycare center is back open after police arrested the owner for fraud, saying she scammed the government out of thousands of dollars.
Well, documents unsealed in federal court showing how far a scheme to steal money from a child food program has allegedly gone. KARK4's Marcy Manley tracking down some of the details and connections in this case.
Former daycare owners are each accused of using their businesses to steal hundreds of thousands of taxpayer dollars. This morning, each woman appeared before a judge on charges of fraud, theft by deception, and false statements to receive public assistance benefits. WLKY's Marissa Alter was in court. She now joins us live from the newsroom with the
10 investigates little kids, big bucks, and your money. We have uncovered evidence that some tax-funded daycares could be taking advantage of your tax dollars. Investigative reporter Paul Aker has more on an industry that rakes in more than $100 million a year just in Franklin County.
So as you can see, child care provider fraud in the Child and Adult Care Food Program is something that's prevalent throughout the country. However, the USDA, state law enforcement agencies, state food program agencies, and state food program sponsors are very vigilant about investigating and prosecuting fraud wherever we find it. That includes right here in the state of Tennessee. The Child and Adult Care Food Program in the state of Tennessee has been under a lot of scrutiny over the last few years. We've had issues like the investigation and closures of ABC and Cherry Tree food programs. There's been a number of centers investigated and child care homes for fraud on the CACFP. There have been serious problems reported with the Summer Food Service Program, another child nutrition program administered by the USDA. There's been quite a bit of personnel turnover at DHS, and with every person that leaves, a new person that comes on board, that presents challenges at the DHS level and for child care sponsors. There's been a tremendous amount of ongoing negative publicity driven primarily by the things that I've just mentioned. And then on top of that, there's increased oversight of the CACFP. The Tennessee State Comptroller, which is the government agency responsible for oversight of the government, has been doing annual reviews of CACFP sponsors and CACFP participating child care centers over the last few years. There's also biannual DHS sponsor reviews, and the USDA on occasion is conducting management evaluations of child care sponsors and participating facilities. Karamu has always strictly enforced CACFP policy, and we expect our providers to follow the rules. What you do reflects on us, and our reputation is important to us, and it's important to our child care providers. With that said, you must be audit ready at all times, and this includes being ready for Karamu site inspections, DHS visits, and the occasional visit by the United States Department of Agriculture. So one of the means prescribed to enforce program integrity is the serious deficiency process. CACFP regulations define seriously deficient as the status of an institution or daycare home that has been determined to be non-compliant in one or more aspects in its operation of the food program. The serious deficiency process offers a systemic way for a sponsoring organization to take actions allowing a provider to correct problems and gives them the opportunity for due process. However, if the provider or center is unwilling or incapable of correcting serious problems, the serious deficiency process protects program integrity by terminating and disqualifying those who are found to be in non-compliance of the program requirements. The following is a list of non-compliance issues that rise to the level of a serious deficiency as defined by the 7th Code of Federal Regulations. It includes submission of false information on your CACFP application, submission of false claims for reimbursement, simultaneous participation under more than one sponsor, noncompliance with the program meal pattern, failure to keep required records, conduct or conditions that threaten the health or safety of a child or the public health or safety in general. A determination that a provider has been convicted of any activity that occurred during the past 7 years that indicated a lack of business integrity. This includes things like deceit, antitrust violations, embezzlement, theft, forgery, bribery, falsification or destruction of records, making false statements, receiving stolen property, making false claims, obstruction of justice, or any other activity that indicates a lack of business integrity as defined by the state agency. This also includes the concealment of any such convictions. One noncompliance that often surprises people is failure to participate in the annual mandatory training that you're participating in right now. And finally, as a catch-all, any violations or any circumstances which demonstrate non-performance under the terms of the agreement that you signed when you joined the program are grounds for serious deficiency. Submitting a fraudulent claim is not only a serious deficiency, but it's also a federal offense, and such fraud could lead to a penalty of up to $10,000 or imprisonment for no more than 5 years, or both. A fraudulent claim can consist of things like claiming children that aren't actually in your care, claiming meals you didn't actually serve, or a fraudulent claim could be something as simple as failure to mark your attendance or meal count as required by federal regulations. Karamu's policy is to actively investigate all suspected fraudulent providers and hold them accountable to the fullest extent of the law. We take program integrity very seriously, and 99% of our providers do also, but there's always that 1% who's just one act away from being the next child care provider to show up on the nightly news in handcuffs for committing fraud against a federal program. In just the first 3 months of 2017, Karamu initiated numerous investigations, with 6 of them ending in noncompliance notices and 2 leading to notices of serious deficiency and CACFP termination. So again, program integrity is something that we take very seriously and something that we demand our providers take very seriously also. A lack of integrity puts the entire CACFP in jeopardy because there are plenty of people in Washington, D.C. today who don't believe this program provides value. So the last thing we want to do is give them a reason to terminate the CACFP.